Joining me now is Democratic State Representative Jasmine Crockett of Texas. She's a civil rights attorney by trade. Representative Crockett, good to see you again. Thank you for being with us. You made incredibly clear when testifying before a congressional committee this week that you can do what you can do in Texas, but ultimately you can't finish the job without federal help.
Yeah. So good morning, Ali. It's good to see you as well. And unfortunately, I didn't get to testify, but Nicole Collier, she did make those points. She is the chair of the Black Caucus. And, you know, what was really frustrating was that during those hearings, we saw a Texas Congressman, Pat Fallon, who said, "Oh, I received this text message. Your colleagues have agreed to work on this issue." It's amazing that once on the national in the national headlines, now finally they're like, "Oh yeah, we messed up," right? But we couldn't have these conversations and these negotiations back home. Instead, our Republican colleagues made it clear that they were not interested in negotiating whatsoever, even if they made errors.
Now, what is it that you most want the feds to do? I mean, at this point, there's a new voting rights bill that's being worked out by Reverend Warnock. There have been two that have been stalled. What would you like most to happen? You want a federal law that has a sort of a basis for what states can't do to take voting rights away?
Absolutely. So what people don't understand is the full context of what's going on in Texas. Texas does make it harder than any other state to vote. And so some of the things that they're discussing in this bill would say have same-day voter registration, something that we can't get a hearing on in the state of Texas, online voter registration, which the majority of states have, but we can't even get a hearing on in the state of Texas. So this baseline bill would actually provide for more access. The problem in Texas is that they reduce the access, and then after they reduce the access, they do other things to make it even more difficult to vote, as far as things such as what they talked about earlier this week, when they talked about if you don't recall which form of ID you used when you registered, whether it was the last four of your social or if it was your driver's license, if you registered, say, 20 or 30 years ago, and you put down the wrong one, even though it is correct for you on your vote by mail application or your vote by mail ballot, then they would actually kick it out. And so it's those types of little things that they're doing. So they're trying to make sure that they have the ability to easily throw votes out. And they also make sure that they restrict access to the ballot box. One of the measures that hasn't been discussed very often is the fact that we had a number of drop boxes for these ballot by mail applications, as well as the ballots themselves. And the governor said, no, we only want to make sure that there's one drop box in the entire county. Now, you start talking about a county the size of Harris County, and you tell me if that's restrictive. It absolutely is. So, you know, having this baseline that actually expands access in the state of Texas would do a great deal for us.
Are you concerned that this has been said in the Texas legislature by you and your colleagues? You've asked Republicans, what problem are you solving for? Because you didn't actually have the problems that any of these measures would actually solve. All these things that the Texas Republicans want to do would not result in there being any difference in the election. So, but people believe them. People believe Republicans who say this is about voter fraud and election security, even if it isn't.
They're liars. I mean, I don't really know how else to put it except for the fact that they're liars. You know, earlier this week, I had an opportunity to do a town hall, and I talked about the numbers. I don't know what the exact numbers are when we start talking percentages, but what I told that group, because this is a group that deals with women's rights as it relates to their bodies, I said, let's think of it like Maury Povich and the baby daddy situation that he used to have all the time. The reality is that Texas doesn't have an issue. Texas doesn't have a baby daddy named voter fraud, right? When we look at the numbers, right, from a scientific standpoint, yes, there may be some voter fraud. Nothing in this world is perfect, right? But when we look at the number, it's 0.000 something, right? So essentially, if we were talking in the words of Maury Povich, it would be Texas, you don't have a baby daddy. named voter fraud. So therefore, let's move on to things that we do have a problem with, such as our infrastructure, keeping the lights on, such as COVID-19, because our governor this week decided that no local elected official would be allowed to invoke a mask mandate. Why? Why are you continuing to kill people in the state of Texas? That's what we need to talk about, because that's where we have real numbers. That's where we have a real problem.
The list of things we didn't think we'd say on this show in the morning just grew a little longer. Texas doesn't have a baby daddy called voter fraud. Jasmine Crockett,
No.
Thank you. You've woken us all up. Jasmine Crockett is the Democratic state representative from Texas.